Ba 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 ba. I think there's a huge problem happening right now, especially with young kids. And I don't mean like children, I mean like teenagers. And the type of teenagers that are very influenced by the people around them, the type of teenagers who will just follow with groupthink and they don't really have self like thoughts in their own brain. The problem with these type of people is that it's not really their fault in the way that they are raised. For example, if there's a teenager and we take him, he's like 15, 16 years old, and he kind of just follows what everyone tells him to do, and he doesn't really have the concept of self accountability. He doesn't have the concept of the idea that you can have control over your own life and you don't have to like wait for someone else to tell you how to do things. And the problem is, if you find a person like that, it's gonna be really hard to change him. Because, in my opinion, and this is why I don't like the school system, by the way, I don't wanna hate on school systems and be like, oh, school system sucks because education or whatever. Education is important. And that is one thing I will stand by. It is one of my values. Education is one of my deeper values. I will never give it up. But the school system sucks because it doesn't teach you how to take control of your own life. It just kind of teaches you how to live life, and you just listen to what the teacher says, or you listen to what daddy says, or you listen to what mommy says, and you kind of just listen and you just do what they say. And this imbuilds, like this imprints this like in like behavior style in you, where you wait for other people to tell you what to do. In school, you would never do your homework unless the teacher would give you homework. Okay, fine, fair enough, right? But then you go home and you wouldn't do your homework till your parents told you to do your homework. And they would tell you that you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to study this. They would tell you what to study. You would wait for the portion list to come out. The portion list is like, for example, if there's like 5 chapters coming for the exam, you don't know what 5 chapters they are. So you wait until the teacher comes to you and feels like, okay guys, here's your 5 chapters, study it. You wait for the teacher to give you the grade. You wait for, the school system to tell you when your classes are going to happen. You wait for the school system to tell you when to wake up, when to sleep, when you have to reach school, what time class is going to end. Everything is given by like Big Daddy. And the problem with this is, it creates this generation of pussies. Absolute bitches. And I can say this because I was one of them. The problem is, right, you have a set of people who are growing up, right? Let's say a classroom of people. And these are kids with deep passion. These are kids with so much energy, so much life. You can tell, right? If you're still in school, right? You can go and look at all the kindergarten kids, all the first grade kids, second grade kids. These kids are filled with life. But as they grow up, you literally physically see the energy and life drain out of them. They kind of just flow with life afterwards. They don't have this passion. They don't have this creativity. They don't have this level of like fierce energy through their life because it gets drained by just listening to Big Daddy. And now an argument could be made that this isn't the school's fault. Kids won't do it if you don't tell them to do it, which I think is bullshit because anyone will tell you what you tell them to do if you give them enough incentive, right? If I tell you that you can get more girls or get more guys or look better, look sexy in the mirror if you go to the gym 4 days a week, that's enough incentive for you to go, right? You want to look sexy in the mirror and I can motivate you, I can make videos, and I don't even have to see your face in order to motivate you to go outside and do some push-ups, right? I don't have to do that. I don't have to see you. All I gotta do is say the right things. So the school, with the amount of money they have, the amount of resources they have, they should be able to do it too. So it's kind of bullshit when people say like, oh, but then the kids won't listen. They listen if you give them enough incentive. Point being, it's raised a bunch of pussies. And the reason why this is a problem for today's generation is that no one does anything for themselves anymore. I feel like I'm going crazy nowadays, and I feel like there's a small group of people on the internet who are exactly like me. But I'm going crazy nowadays because I do shit. If I want something, I go ahead and do it, right? Recently, the past like a month ago, like 2 months ago, in October or September, I didn't work out as much. I wasn't meditating as much. And these are the two things I value very, very deeply. And when I fell off on it, I was just thinking, oh, it'll be fine. You know, I've done it enough. It'll be fine. My brain was like, we'll do it later. We'll do it. And then sometimes I'll do it for like 2 days and then I'll forget. Literally, I'm a big workout guy. I'm a big mental health guy. And these two things I value a lot. But then I gave up on them and my life went to shit. It's not like everything just went to tangibly went to shit, but I was having bad mental health. I was getting sick. I was sleepy. I was lazy. I didn't study. I didn't, have this level of happy energy I was having. So what did I do? I put up a habit tracker, which is right behind you, by the way. It's on the wall. I put up a habit tracker and I just followed it. Right, I put meditation, I put working out, I put gratitude journaling, and I just followed it as best as possible. I held myself accountable. I didn't do well. Right, I got maybe like 10 days of meditation out of 30 days on that month. But then I kept that consistency. And then I got 30 days for November. So it was a nice thing. I kept myself accountable and now I meditate every single day. I'm on a 50-day streak. 52 today. And it feels good, right? I'm not saying this to say I'm better or greater than you. I'm saying it feels good to take control over your life. There are so many people when we were younger that influenced us to just listen to them and never take control of our own lives. In school, I was never taught how to study. Can you imagine that? In school, the place where you're meant to get education, in a place where you're meant to test yourself and where you're meant to learn new knowledge and stick that knowledge in your brain and remember it. This beautiful location with so much potential. Not once was I taught how to study. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a gym who doesn't have trainers to teach you how to do the exercises and they just tell you do the exercises? No wonder kids are failing, right? If I asked you to do bench press, like a 50-kilogram bench press and have like 50 added on weight, and you've never done a bench press in your life, and I just ask you to do it with no idea on how the form is or anything, you're just gonna kind of imagine what you're gonna do. You're gonna drop the bar in your body. If I ask you to do a push-up and you've never done a push-up and I never taught you how to build up to a good push-up, you're gonna fall flat on your face, and that's what happens, right? That's exactly what the school is doing. And I'm not gonna blame just the school. It's many people, but obviously we can't blame our circumstances. We have to take responsibility. We have to take action on what we have. But my point being, people are being raised. I was being raised to be this person who just kind of listens to what the teachers say, to just wait until the teachers tell me to study, or wait until my mom tells me to study, and then I study. There's this level of incapableness, and it's unattractive to girls. So I wasn't really attractive to any girls for that reason, and the girlfriends I did had, they just liked me, but they didn't really respect me because I didn't do anything hard. And it's okay to say, fair enough to them, right? I was not a hardworking guy. So why would you respect me? I wouldn't respect me. So there's no reason other people should. And then I started taking control over my life. I started waking up on times that I decide when I wake up on. I study when I want to study. I study how long ever I want to study. I didn't feel like studying, but I wanted to do it. So I did it as much as I wanted to. I worked out when I wanted to. I decided that I want to do this and I went ahead and did it. I took control over my life, and guess what happened? All the negative thoughts I had, gone. All the drama I was involved in that gave me bad mental health, gone. I gained so much self-respect that it is almost impossible for someone to make me feel bad about myself. It is impossible right now. And I work on that every single day. I sharpen my sword every single day because I know there will be times where people come at me and say shit to me, so I'll feel bad. So obviously I sharpen myself every single day. My point being, this generation is fucked. And it's about time, if you're watching this video, that you take control over your life. Because I did it, I know it works, and I'm not a special guy. By all means, I should be in the trenches right now. I should not have what I have. I should not have good mental health. And frankly, I was not going to. It was me taking control over my life that caused that to happen. I used to be a shit student. I used to fail multiple grades. as in not the grade itself, but I used to fail like multiple subjects, and I would have trouble studying math. I would have trouble focusing. I was almost like an ADHD kid. And like, I'm not saying that to insult myself. I'm literally saying like, if you looked and point a camera at me, you would assume that I'm an ADHD kid. I just like playing video games, and I didn't really like doing anything else. And I was really good at playing video games. And I was told to study 4, 5, 6 hours a day by all the teachers, by all the supervisors in my school, and like it was very overwhelming. And there would be days where I would study like 7, 8, 9 hours. And sure, like, it felt nice, I was being productive, but I never got any results. I had no leverage. No matter the amount of input I put in, the output I got was nothing. It was nada. It was void. And then I took control, and I was like, no one taught me how to fucking study. In my 12 years of schooling, no one taught me how to open my book and actually, like, what is studying? Like, no one taught me that. So I had to reteach that to myself. At the age of 17, 18, I had to teach myself how to study when I should have known this when I was 5. And then I had to practice that, and I had to get good at it because it's a new skill, right? Kind of like a video game where you have this like XP bar that you've never leveled up. And so now you finally level it up, but you're kind of ass at it in the beginning. So now it takes a while for you to get good at it. I had to practice. I fell on my face so many times. It didn't work out so many times. And then I would go ahead again. Point being, I had to reteach myself how to study, which is a basic life skill. And now I don't study as much, right? I don't study 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. I study like maximum 3, maybe 4 hours on my most days. And I used to fail considering I was studying 9 hours, but now I'm like a B plus A student. Think about it. I'm not the greatest student. I'm not an A plus 99% student. I'm not gonna toot my own horn. I'm gonna have humility. I'm just gonna say I'm not the greatest like outcome output guy, but the amount of work I put in, it shouldn't give me B plus or A, but it does. Why? Because I have more leverage, right? They don't teach you this shit in school. I have more leverage, meaning like the stuff I do equals more. The same action gives me more. So obviously, like the less I study, the more output I get. But the point being, like, so many kids in school could have this. So many kids in school, like you, could know how to do this if they taught us. But I doubt the school even knows how to do it. This isn't about the actual studying. I'm just saying that the generation we've grown up in is the unluckiest generation, right? People like to blame us, saying like we're lazy. People say we're undisciplined. We don't work hard. We don't get jobs. We don't do this. We don't do that. And sure, that might be objectively true, but why? Have some empathy, right? If you want to be a good leader, if you want to be a good school or organization, you need to have good empathy, and then you have to understand where they're coming from. Kids nowadays are lazy. Why? Because you make them lazy. Sure, it was my fault I wasn't doing anything, but why was I not doing anything? I was not given enough reason. Once I had reason, obviously I'll do it, right? So it's like a no-brainer that you have to teach reason to people. You have to teach vision. You have to teach incentive. But no one does this. It's honestly very, very sad. I can only imagine the amount of progress the world could make, amount of change, amount of like impact, the dents these kids like me could leave in the world if we were just taught how to do that. But no one does that. And it's very, very sad. And the world wouldn't get saturated if everyone was good. It's easy to think that like, oh, if everyone is good at what they do, the world would get saturated and the output would not be valued. That's incorrect. Because imagine like in a point, right? Like if we do 1 unit of production, if 500 people do the same 1 unit, that's 500 units. That's still good, right? And everyone has different interests. My interest is teaching. My interest is learning what faults I have, finding the best way to do it, practice it, figure out the best way to practice it, and then teach it so that other people can teach it to other people, and then we can have this like virus of good habits and good advice and good behaviors spread. For other people, it could be engineering, it could be producing things, it could be making things. For other people, it could be marketing. For other people, it could be art. It could be making stuff, like arts and crafts. It could be anything. And if you were learned discipline, if you were learned consistency, if you were learned continuous improvement, if you were learned to set goals, how to achieve those goals, what are mini goals, what are smart goals when you were younger, obviously you would be unstoppable when you're older. And they think kids are stupid, but like that's incorrect. It's just that you've never tried teaching them. If you told the kid that, hey, you want this X thing, set a goal and go ahead and try to do it every single week. You're gonna fall flat on your face hundreds of times. Accept it and then move on. Brush yourself off, get up and move on and keep doing the work. You'll get what you want. Kids love progress. Kids are the ones who have the most energy in the world compared to the rest of us. So they will have better capabilities to do these things, but no one teaches this shit. And I don't want to go on a complete rant in this video, but my point being of this video is that this generation is the unluckiest generation. But if you're watching a video like this, it means you're different. It means you know that you know what you want. You have a North Star. You have a vision. And it's your responsibility as a person, as a human in this world, to sacrifice stuff in your life that doesn't help you reach that goal. Even though it's your goal and you know you want it more than anything, you're still like a faulty human being with faulty wiring. So you think that all these bad vices, these bad habits are good for you, even though technically they stop you from reaching that bigger goal that you want. So it's just about whether you want the pleasure now or you want that bigger pleasure later. So will you sacrifice it or not? And once you understand this concept, you'll have an easier time. But I make videos like this all the time. You can look at my channel and watch them, anything. But the point of this video is just like, it was almost a rant because I was just thinking about it and getting pissed off at it. But yeah, subscribe and like the video. If you want to see more, click my face down there. A bunch of my videos will pop up. And like the video if you really like the video, because it shows that I can make more videos just like this one. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.